Hi guys, so this is going to be a video on what to expect when starting nursing school and the things that I wish I knew before starting nursing school. So the number one thing that I wish that I had known was to save money. I did save a good amount of money, but I did not save enough. When you start school and you're not working as much as you are used to, but you're used to spending like you would do, have a job, and make the same amount of money, that money will go very quickly. So my biggest thing I would say is, if you know, like, you have 6 months, start saving. I know that you want to spend money and like get your hair done and get all that stuff done, like that's great, but if you can like minimize your spending, I would absolutely like advise that. Like, don't spend unless it's absolutely necessary. Also, when we're talking about money, I would start getting a job that's PRN or something that you don't have to work a lot of. So I'm very grateful and I have a great job opportunity. Well, not opportunity. I have a great company that I work for. I'm a bartender. I'm just gonna throw it out there. So I honestly at first was like, okay, I'm going to start school and I'm not gonna work. Or I'm gonna work a small amount of shifts. I'm so thankful that my job allowed that to happen, and I'm like, hey, I have an exam this date, this date, this date. Let's put me on for this day, this day, and this day, and they totally do it. A lot of companies don't do that. So whether it's bartending or serving or working PRN in the hospital, that's great. My thing is, I bartend. Serving and bartending, like, you make a good amount of money in a very short period of time, so that's why I didn't go to the hospital. Because I'm working like 6 to 12 hour shifts and I'm getting paid like maybe $9, $10, $11 an hour. I just felt like bartending was quick, easy money. It's fun. I can like interact with my friends. They can come up and see me, and that can also be like my hangout time. But if you don't have the opportunity, I would highly suggest finding something that is. Now, if you have like 6 months to like 8 months, look into that, because when school starts, like, I wanted to start a job and like get to know the people, get to know my like management, so that way like when it came down to school, God forbid I have an exam or something like that and I like got scheduled last minute, they know that that's who I am and like what they knew what to expect when they hired me. And if this wasn't going to work with this company, it gave me time to find another company to do that with. But I got lucky with my job and they allowed me to do that. My second main thing of advice, number 2, would probably be to do everything. I have notes right here because if not, like I said in my other video, I'll get sidetracked. Do everything that you want to do. Like, if you want to hang out with your friends, if you want to go on vacation, if you want to make all those weird doctor's appointments and get them out of the way, I highly suggest doing that. Because once school starts, like, you're just so busy. And nursing school, like, in the beginning, I had no life, because it's such a huge adjustment. It's not that like I couldn't do things, like I just was having, like, it was taking me longer to study and do certain things because I didn't know how. I didn't know my process. I wasn't in a routine. So in the beginning, like, you have no life. Like, you're stressed, you're freaking out. Like, so do everything beforehand. If you wanted to go somewhere with your boyfriend, now is the time to do that. Do it now. Also, get your life organized, because let me tell you, if your life is not organized now, school's going to be a million times harder. So I would organize your room, organize your car, organize everything in your life. Try to start getting it like into a routine of things. Like, I wish I had like I worked out way back when, and I just don't anymore. But I wish that's something that I had already done and got into a routine of, because then I can just incorporate everything I'm doing now in the school. But I didn't work out, it wasn't meal prepping, it wasn't doing anything, and then school started and like my life just became like a bigger mess. So like, anything you want to do while you're in school, I would try to start getting on a routine. And I know it sounds childish, but try and get on a sleep schedule, because sleep is so important. Like, I don't know about to you, but if I don't sleep a certain amount of hours, like, I'm a mess. Like, I get emotional, I get crazy, I get like Me, and especially if I don't eat. If I'm like tired and I'm hungry, forget it. I'm like terrible. So yeah, so get yourself organized before you start school because life will be easier. Do your research. I will link one of my favorite vloggers. She's the Nurse Nook. I watched her and I absolutely love her. She's great. Do your research, figure out what kind of learner you might be. Listen to all the amount of tips, because the more that you pump yourself or prepare yourself, it's not going to be as big of a wake-up call. It's still going to be, because hearing it from somebody and actually being thrown into it is completely different. But at least you have it in the back of your mind, like, oh, I remember when she said this. So like, okay, so you can just like apply it to what you're actually like doing now. I would suggest working out, because my biggest thing is stress. Like, the amount of stress that you deal with in nursing school is no joke. So I wish that I had started to work out to help like alleviate my stress, but I got in this routine and I got stuck, and I like couldn't find time to fit working out in, because the times that I was studying, the times that I was reading just didn't work out, and I didn't want to break my routine because I was doing okay. So that's what I'm saying, like, organize your life and start working out, and start it with a program so you get in the habit. Even if it's 2 or 3 times a week, running outside, doing laps in the pool. I live in Florida, so that's a huge thing. Anything, because exercise helps relieve stress. Also, I wish I knew that I was going to gain weight. Oh my God, don't tell me I'm skinny. I know I'm skinny, but there's such thing as skinny fat. So stop telling me that, because I gain weight. I know my body. That's how I am. You know your body. You know like what you're supposed to be at, what your norm is. I gained weight because I was serving. I was on my feet. I was active way more. And then I went to school. I have stress. I started stress eating. Not like an insane amount, but I'm like, screw it. I'm going to eat the chocolate because I deserve it. I busted my butt today. So that's like what happens. And then I'm not running around serving food or getting drinks, and I'm not like doing all this stuff. I'm not standing. I now started sitting for multiple hours a day. I am snacking on things. Like, just be prepared to gain a little bit of weight. And of course, like, once your program and once you adjust and the stress levels go down and your anxiety goes down, that also will go with it. But at first, it's just your body's like an overload. You're not sleeping, you're not drinking enough, you're eating too much, or maybe you're not eating enough because you're in class for so many hours. Now your body's like storing everything as fat. I don't know. This is goofy, but stock up on your makeup, because you're about to be broke and you're gonna want to spend your money on margaritas and other stuff. So makeup is expensive, and we all know that, because I don't go to like CVS and just get like generic makeup. Like, I've been using my same makeup for years. I go to Ulta, I use Benefit and all those other brands, and I love them. Like, Naked is a great company. Their foundation works great for me. So I wish I would have stocked up, because now that I am like strapped for money, I'm like, okay, I don't really need makeup today. So 99% of the time I'm looking homeless, because I want to save it for when I'm going out or for work or something like that. So yeah, that's also why I look homeless in school. This is like my biggest like advice, besides saving money and like making time to do everything you want to do before school. Pay your bills, because if you have less bills and you have less things to worry about in nursing school, your anxiety levels are going to like dramatically decrease. So I had Invisalign in the last year. That cost me a couple grand. I paid it off right before I started school, because I didn't want to have to worry about making payments in the middle of my like program, or what if suddenly it was too stressful and I couldn't work. So now I can't pay off that, and it's just like gonna pile up. Let's like alleviate like all of this stress. Like, let's just eliminate it. Let's get rid of it. Let's not, like, if I have the option to have stress and I have the option not to have stress, why would you not choose the option to not have stress? Let's lower those levels, because nursing school itself is stressful. Your anxiety levels are going to go up. And now that we're on the topic of anxiety, if you know that you are stressed and that's just how you are, and you have anxiety with everything you do, you know yourself. I know a lot of people don't get medicated. get medicated for your anxiety, because even if you don't use it every day or whatever you want to do, like when tests come up or you're panicking and things aren't working the way you want, like you will have that fallback to medicate yourself so you can sleep, so you can focus, so your brain's not on overload. Like, I wish that I had known that. Talk to somebody, figure out your triggers, figure out what makes your anxiety worse, what helps alleviate it. Like working out, hanging out with friends, walking your dog, spending time with dogs at the dog park, driving, listening to music. Find out what helps, because you don't have time to figure everything out at one time in nursing school, and you're just in overload. So like, I would figure out as much as you can beforehand and apply that when like these stressful, high anxiety situations begin, because it will just make your life way easier. What else can I talk about? Let's see. Alright, so this is where I'm going to stop, because this video is a lot longer than I intended for it to be. So I'm going to split this video up into two. So this is going to be part one, and then over to the side somewhere, you'll see part two. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you watch part two.